Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Joining me for my first YouTube, Facebook, Twitch live stream on the He Said What Network is Carlos Walker. He is an author, motivational speaker, an artist, and he has an amazing story. I can't wait. Intro. Just shows me that, you know, those transitions will either, you know, hinder you and cause for you to say, you know, I'm going to delve within myself.
And if they are, we can go back and now have the power to say, no, we're going to do it different. And there really isn't a lot of people galvanizing together to say, hey, we're definitely going to change some things around here and just watch, right? So
say something to me about my beef with this person or my beef with that person. I'm like, what beef? You know, they had some kind of one-sided beef, you know, that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I literally can't think.
But I want to create an ecosystem. I want to create an academy to where I go back and teach those young men how to become entrepreneurs in trucking. Simply because, what if that brother would have came up to me and said, "Man, this is a nice chain. This is a nice Rolex watch, a nice car. What do you do for a living?"
Already, you guys, like I said, we are joined by none other than Carlos Walker. How you feeling, family?
Man, peace and blessings. How you feeling? I'm good.
I'm good as well myself, man. You know, first and foremost, it's an absolute honor to have you here on the platform. This is my first, time I'm doing this like this with He Said What Network. So if there's any bumps and bruises along the way, charge it to my head, not my heart, because I'm honored, like I said, to have you here with me.
Love.
Man, so talk to us, man. I know you're from Virginia. Talk to us about, your experiences coming up that, that really that shaped you. I know you started, your artistry at the age, you started drawing at the age of 8.
Yeah. I started at the age of 8 till probably about 14 to 16, and then kind of fell out of love with it. Started selling drugs. I'm from Halifax County, Virginia. Southern Virginia, just to let you know, near Danville and Lynchburg. Most people don't know where Halifax at. So started drawing, and here we are now. Hey, after doing prison time and everything, escalated.
Look, man, and it's for me personally, right? I'm not a perfect person. I've seen a lot, I've seen a lot of different people. I've hung around with a lot of different people, you know what I'm saying, that have done quite a few things in their lives. And, I have some friends that are currently doing time right now. Some that, sadly passed for some of the choices that they made, So like I said, for you to be sitting here breathing, continuing, being able to help to change your own life with your new your new decision-making skills, it's a blessing. I wonder for yourself though, you regained your freedom from the helps of Kim Kardashian, Van Jones, and others. Can you talk to us about that process, right? Because you were facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years, but
20 to life.
20 to life, and you did 14.
I did 13. Tapped
13.
out. I tapped out to a 20-year sentence. So in the federal system, they gave me 20 years, and the state gave me 3 for eluding the police, and the state had charged me with 4 attempted capital murder charges. They ended up dropping it down when I went to court because I fought those charges, and they dropped it down to 4 assaults on 4 police officers. Gave me 6 months apiece on each officer and a year for eluding. It was fraudulent. It was a bunch of stuff, but what God did. Right. The 20-year sentence the feds gave me, the 3 got ran concurrent, and the 20-year sentence, if it hadn't been for God allowing Kim Kardashian, Van Jones, John Legend, them to fight for prison reform in 2018, President Trump wouldn't have signed a bill that called the Prison Reform or the Fair Sentencing Act. And that's what I came home from.
Man, as I was doing some research, I found that quantitative findings, they demonstrated a significant association between incarceration history and poor mental health, including higher levels of psychological distress, increased severity of depression and PTSD symptoms, and delayed mental health treatment. I wonder for you, how are you coping with your feelings of being on the inside now versus when you first got your freedom back, when you first came out?
I would say for me, I always have looked at life, as I was telling you earlier, from a butterfly standpoint.
Right.
Even when I was going through it, don't get me wrong, the first I'm gonna say the first 6 months I cried like a baby. I lost over 50. Before I went to prison, I had roughly about $50,000 in cash. I'd put most of it in drugs, so a lot of it, I had a bunch of drugs still left over, and I had some money that ended up going towards a lawyer. But I lost everything. A trailer that I owned, technically over $80,000 worth of drugs and cash. I lost everything that I felt, monetary things or things that I looked at that meant something to me, that I worked hard for in my eyes. But what ended up happening, God starts showing me that, look, you still got life. You still got your parents. Because they ended up running in my parents' crib and everything. It was a bunch of mess. But what happened? Throughout that journey, I learned to praise and worship God, and God restored a bunch of things. I prayed and asked God to do something for me, to give me, we'll get into that, but to do something for me. And what happened? I seen it happen. So from here, looking back and being able to see into it, I see nothing but a blessing or a cocoon.
It's yeah, prior to us getting on here with everybody else watching, you guys, we were having an amazing conversation, man, about looking at life from an evolution standpoint, right? And how even in the caterpillar stage of life, it's still a level of perfection that is there, because you are supposed to be in that moment, right? I wonder for you, right? What is the next point of evolution for Carlos? Like, what comes next after this interview ends, and you get back to working? What is the next thing for you?
So right now I'm working on a rap debate. I took rap music and debate and merged it together. So then, because I understand that rap is a language.
Right.
And I understand when it's used right. Right now, all of your young rappers that's rapping about murder, kill, steal, and all this, they're teaching a culture.
Right.
Our women, they're teaching a culture to act this way. But the thing about it, you can use that same language to transform higher thought. So I'm working on my rap debate, so then I can actually get a bunch of. I would love to see something like American Idol, but with our culture, but them using rap to show how ingenious they are, because they're geniuses. Two, I got a guy. His name is John Silk. He's looking to try to find somebody like maybe I'm trying to what's my man's Spike Lee. What's my man's name that did Wakanda Forever?
My man's that got arrested. Oh, bro. Ryan Coogler, there you go.
Him to take my book and make my book into a Netflix series or a movie or a movie. So then we can see what things look like to be on the other side if it was what if.
Right.
So
right.
it's a bunch of things that I got lined up that I'm waiting to see God transform.
Man, speaking of the book, man, you killed me with that one. You know that, right? You killed me with that one. I gotta, because it's your. If you don't know, you won't know, you guys. So he could we say race reversal? I think that's really it, right? The
I don't
book
really
is
like
basically,
the term but
yeah. What
I
what
call it
term would
role
you
reversal.
ascribe to it, right? Because
No, I
you,
got you though. No, race reversal would be right. No, you're
right,
right because most people say what they call it
reverse
racism
racism,
reversal and I
reverse
don't like
racism.
that term. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but race reversal sounds
mhm,
better. I
right.
got you.
So I was gonna say you do race reversal within a lot of your art depictions, even to the point where you got it's been displayed in the World Trade Center, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, those won't in the World Trade Center. They said it was too much, but I have had I have had 3 pictures that was at the World Trade Center, but they was
Right,
you know who Ta-Nehisi Coates is. You from
right.
Howard, right?
No, no, no,
So
no, no, no. I'm from Texas. I
all
was
right,
what's
but
called. My
no, I thought
fraternity
you went to
was
school
founded
at
at
Howard.
Howard, though. Yeah.
Huh? You went to school at Howard?
No, 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 no. I was no, my fraternity was founded at Howard, but that's a
Okay.
whole different. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So um Ta-Nehisi Coates, I had him,
Mhm.
Maya Angelou,
Right.
and Toni Morrison. I had those 3 pictures that was each year they showcased those.
Nice.
Yeah. So look, I tell you, I've seen God literally open up Yahweh open up doors for me since I've
Right.
been home. And being able to show my artwork there was one of them.
Right. Let's I do want to go uh into the book a little bit more. You've over 4,000 copies distributed. I was wondering, with your depictions, uh, and especially, because you gave them the term white Africans, right? That really, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm Nigerian, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
something in me was like, why would he give them? Why not Europeans, right? But it was, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of what it was in me that was like, because I sat back and I pondered for a second. What were you hoping with your book? What were you hoping would take place within our community versus, other communities, and not just the Caucasian community, but also the Asian, the Latin, the Latin, the all other communities. What were you hoping would take place with them when they pick up your book?
Empathy.
Mm.
You got to remember, no matter where we're at, whether it's in America, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's even in Africa,
Right.
when you truly understand the people and the oppression, no matter where we've been, then you understand that they don't see us through our eyes. They see us through the eyes that have been painted. They are a visual people. If you actually mainly think about it, we are mainly auditory as a whole because most of our history has been passed down through such. But when you think about white people in the world, they use visual arts as everything. They go to museums more, musicals, just to see, not to hear, but to see. Not saying that and you got to remember how people learn: visual, kinesthetic, and through art and auditory. So when you utilize the one that people show really, which was visual, and you think about what you say you're Nigerian.
Right.
You've been in America pretty much probably your whole life.
Right.
First generation.
Yep.
Okay. When you think, and you say you roughly about 32, 33. So what is the only commercial that you truly know about Africa that you ever really seen in America?
Man, the only one I know is the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where you
With
got the flies on the kids' eyes, and
bingo,
10 cents a day will change somebody's life whole entire time. They got mansions and a nice skyline.
beaches,
I'm talking about
everything.
it's beautiful
So
there. I've been there.
now think about how they use perception
Right.
to show everything. So for us, like I said, we listen to stuff a lot more. Music vibrates our bodies. That's the reason why it does us like it does. But for them, seeing is everything. And it even played a bad spot on us. When you talk to most of your African people, what they know about African Americans or people or Black Africans in America, what they know is that, guess what? All we do is sell drugs. All we do is this, do that. They've showed the opposite of what you normally see. Most of your African Americans, to be honest, go to work.
Absolutely.
You don't see that. If you only show that we're drug dealers, rappers, people who don't really utilize what's here, then the world look at you like, man, y'all wasting y'all time.
I had a friend that was actually working in another third world country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's a Black woman, and all she saw on the media about Black Americans
Go to
was
prison.
literally just that. Oh, all they do is twerk. All they do is smoke weed, get high,
Sell drugs.
Dads aren't in the house. There's a narrative that has been created and pushed throughout the world
And it
that
represents a few,
a few,
but it represents the whole.
right. They're trying to make it to where that is what the whole is, and it's disparaging as well as really disappointing.
And when you look
Because
at Africa, they made Africa look poor.
absolutely,
That one commercial that you've seen, most of your African Americans in their mind, the reason why you have never seen Africa or African Americans go to Africa like that, think about what they think in their mind. At least the older ones, is poor. Why would I want to associate myself with something like that? They'll go to all your islands, Barbados, all these beautiful places now, don't get me wrong. But none of them is as beautiful as Africa. But Africa, you don't see those commercials about these places.
nope.
You only see those places, you only see Africa in its worst state, because guess what? If we go there, we see what's there, you might leave here.
The funny part is I always try to, because when I was teaching, I used to tell that to my students. I would show them a photo of the skyline in Lagos, and I'll say, "What do you guys think that is?" Like, "Oh, that's New York. Oh, that's
LA.
LA. No, that's Lagos, Nigeria." What? Yes,
They don't
that's
even know nothing about what is it? Nollywood? Hold on, what is it?
Nope, they don't know nothing about Nollywood. They don't know anything about it, man.
Nollywood has the biggest, outside of Hollywood, they make the most money off of movies. You got to understand this.
Right.
You also got to understand, even most of your doctors in America, that's where they come from.
Right. It's kind of, it's to me, it seems intentional that a divide is being put right within us, where over here we look poor, and over there, Black Americans look the way that they look, and I think that eventually, as time goes by, because technology has evolved to the point where you have people wanting to go to Ghana, wanting to go to Nigeria, so that they can be at these festivals that people are throwing over there, just because they're starting to see that, oh no, it's actually really nice here, and they are in fact welcoming, because it
we've
seems
been
like
tricked.
yeah, literally, man. I think that as time goes by, that divide will in fact be bridged with more knowledge. We're doing it. I want to get into this really quickly. You have a quote that I really loved. I just need more people to see it, more people to get involved in it, because I feel like what this does is move things forward. If you never have an understanding or a conversation about anything, you cannot move anything forward. I wonder for you, besides the conversation that we just took place, about bridging that gap within the diaspora, what other conversations do you feel need to be had today?
One of them being, I think we need a law amongst each other. The 10 Commandments, just use them. And I don't know them all by hand, but do not kill.
Right.
Do not steal. Do not covet one's wife. Or when you think of these things, and the reason why I'm going to say Moses was given the book to even be put there, it was for the people.
Right.
So I wouldn't do to you what I don't want done to me. And when even you look at your African American community, you're seeing a bunch of stuff because it's never been organized. And we do not have a law amongst each other. But when you place a law amongst each other and you learn to live by it, it takes form and become a nation inside of a nation, but also a nation that if we move to Africa, guess what happens? You live by those laws and we build this nation up with Africa, and we take things all to a whole different standpoint amongst each other. But you get to live amongst each other without a bunch of bull crap.
Yep.
Things that I want to see happen, more of us going to Africa. And it's happening now. Like me, I do plan on, I want my citizenship in Ghana or Nigeria. But I'm trying to, this year I plan on taking a trip, me myself, because I actually do want to go and adventure what the motherland look like. I do want to know what, hey, I want to spread my wings in Haiti.
Right.
Because Haiti's special. I want to build with all of us. Now, look, I ain't got no problems with white people. Don't get me wrong. The book, it was for empathy wise, because I'm tired of seeing certain things. When we look at the news, you see white police killing us.
Right.
Let's have a conversation. DeSantis down in Florida, he trying to take AP African American studies out of high schools.
Right.
You me tell you why? For some strange reason, he don't think our history big enough. Not knowing, it's starting for me to realize that this man either don't know that we have created everything that you can see from the motor, GPS, cell phones, all these things. Look, door stops, doorknobs, the traffic light.
Right.
It's starting to look like maybe he need to do a study. And just realize, what if you remove black people? What would they have?
I don't, I feel you, but I think that what is lacking there is more so of the appreciation of the fact that someone else's history has so predominantly impacted your own.
I like that.
It's true, it's true. There's no two ways about it. I think that with that lack of appreciation, you can't have a deeper understanding of your own history. People tend to just throw off the past because, the past is the past. We say that all the time, right?
If you look at your life, your past reflect where your future is.
And you can, in fact, you can stem the tide, right? If your past, if you come from a bunch of negativity, right? Negative, and you reflect on the past and you see what has put you inside those negative situations, you can, in fact, stem the tide and change your future to where now, okay, here are positive things. And now, as for me, as someone who believes in uplifting the next generation, I believe in taking that lesson, right? When you get to that point, oh, hey, I'm starting to see positivity. Oh, hey, now even more positive things are happening to me. Take that lesson from the past and say, oh, okay, well, hey, let me pass this on to this next generation. That way, they don't have to, even though their past mimics mine, they're coming from negative. They can figure out ways to be like, oh, okay, let me change this about myself. Let me change this about my situation. Let me put myself in a certain place to where I start to see positivity and reap the benefits. And then you create a chain effect to where now they're doing that to others. And so now, and especially within our community, where we have trauma in the blood, right? I believe that, if we can get into that space, then we will in fact take a step closer and to where we are here now. We're making the necessary progress that we need so that the next generation doesn't have to fight as hard, for the things for our community.
I also got one more. The Jewish community. They said never again. When they don't care about emotions. And me, I don't either. Not when it comes down to understanding what has happened to us and where we need to go. Yes, it looks horrible, but if you look at it, great things has came from it. Yes, it's like a rose. Roses have thorns. You reach down there, you grab it, your hand gonna bleed.
Right.
But if you mess around, just take a look at it and look at how beautiful things the petals are, how beautiful the flower looks. You don't just get to look at just the roses on it.
Yeah.
You get to, just the thorns on it. You get to look at how beautiful the plant is itself. And what happens? You do supposed to look and review history.
Yes.
But for furthering.
Right.
Not stand in there just at the thorniest stage, but to see how far we done grew, what we done, how prosperous we are, or how God, to me, has gifted us, this entire community, to make change all the way around the world.
Brother, we are going to, hold on to this thought. We're going to continue after this commercial break. I'm enjoying this. You guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Just stay tuned to after these messages. Commercial.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This Tribal Trigger Trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop right here, man. Yo, Kareem, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it. It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
All right, and we're back. If you want your commercial added, please make sure you tap in with He Said What Network. And we will get your ad placed before here. All right. And you can send an email to this right here, info@hesaidwhatnetwork.com. All right, my brother, we were man, this has been an enlightening conversation, really, about bridging the gap, man, and what needs to take place.
One more, love. There's a scripture that says faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of all three is love. We've gotten faith.
Mm-hmm.
Faith to me came through a group of people who ended up who were slaves, who believed that they were coming out of there.
Right.
They didn't. Maybe all of them didn't make it. But look at us. Number two, hope. Jesse Jackson's thing was keep hope alive.
Right.
Obama, the audacity of hope, and what you got to see. People who never believed that there would ever be a black president seen one. Every child that came after him only know, hey, for the most part, there was a black president. But the last part is love. Until most of us, especially African Americans, they came here and all they felt was hate. All we're seeing now in this world is hate. From the music to the movies to somebody else's narrative based upon our lives, and all it's telling you is hate, hate, hate. Now you start telling people, yo, hey, I love you, man. And I'm literally telling you, Ezel, yo, I love you.
Love you too, bro.
What happened? And I believe it started taking shape when what was the first Wakanda movie? Was it
Black Panther?
Black Panther. When you seen this, do you know what this means?
What does it mean?
It means love in sign language. So what happened when you started seeing this right here, that struck off what's the next step to bridging the gap between man and black woman, black woman and black man, or man and female, but continents. Once we start telling each other, I love you, then it takes shape. The kids, there's an African proverb that says, if you do not nurture the children, that burn the village down to fill its warmth. Right now, you're seeing the village getting burned down because they're not feeling love. So what has to happen is we have to start speaking it. Because the more you say it, and I've heard people say you need to show it. At least start speaking, because it says in the Bible, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. If I start speaking that I love you, I start reacting to it. But we all feel it.
I believe, just to add something to that, right? I believe it also comes from the mindset as well, right? Because a lot of us who come up within these households come from parents who were in survival mode. And that survival mode, taught us self-preservation first. You gotta get it on your own. You gotta get it. And honestly, these thoughts are coming from a wise woman who I speak to quite frequently. Survival mode has gotten us to fall out of love with our community. And we are, in fact, in a place where, we're fighting for what we believe to be ours. When in fact we should build that communal mindset and say, like you said, love, right? Hey, I love you. Why is it still so weird to tell your friends I love you? Why is there still like a hesitancy and a reaction like that? Because we are still believing that we're being duped by others, when really, no, it's honestly a genuine thing. Like it's okay to love your friend. It's okay. Of course,
I don't even just tell my friends no more. It's everybody. Because what happens is this. The world only knows hate. We're not the people that that you tell would be immediate family and a few of your friends.
Right.
If you start telling everybody that you love them and they start saying it back, what happens? You'll start seeing people feed the homeless more. You'll start seeing people help people out a lot more. You'll see the whole community shift and take change. But it has to happen. Me, I just learned to start doing it because guess what? One, what's in you gonna pour out of you. And what we have to start doing is sowing seeds of love.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man, I had a list of questions that I sent to you, boy. We've been on a whole nother tangent. I love doing this, man. I love doing this, and I really do appreciate you. I do want to, gravitate just a little bit towards something that, going from love into support. One of your earliest supporters was a high school arts teacher, Miss Ferguson. How did you know that she supported you back then? And how do you know when someone is supporting you now?
Okay, as far as me when I was growing up, I didn't even listen to this lady when it came to art. I used to do my own thing, and she still found it in her heart to want to help me as an artist. She took me to, it was only 2 of us out of the whole high school, and I don't know how many art students she had, but she took us to Richmond, Virginia, me and a female, and we went to I forgot what it was, but we was going for the whole weekend, and she supported me. I acted a pure butthole that weekend too. Look, they took us to this Japanese restaurant. and you know how they cook the food and do everything.
Yeah.
Because I was so used to my mom was cooking, I told them people take me to McDonald's. I wouldn't even eat the food. I showed off. And she still believed in my artwork. And I have apologized to this lady since I
Okay, all
brought her over
right, good.
because look, I really showed off. But the thing about it, how do you know somebody's supporting you? They believe in your dream. They tell you, yo, keep going. They remember life and death is in the power of the tongue. They add confirmation to what God has told you. They say, look, I believe in you. They may even support it financially. Like as far as me, especially me in this book, I've sold over 3,700 hand to hand, over 4,000 copies all together. But I seen one person in my community or where I'm from, I seen them support me first. I mean, literally, they showed off. A lot of people bought my book. Then around about 300 on Amazon. That was in 3 months. But then I slowed up and I hit the pavement in August of 2021. I hit the pavement because I lost my job, and 2 weeks before that, God told me to go and start selling them in DC in front of the African American Museum. And I've sold over 3,700 books, and most of them in front of the African American Museum with a book bag on my back. And I've seen people support me, people who believed in my vision. And what I'm seeing now, the fruits of the labor. Hey, my biggest supporter, I would say, is God, man. I do not supposed to be here until later this year. And for me to be out 4 years earlier and in March 8th, it'll be 4 years I've been out. And for me to see how God has literally taken some things I spoke to myself and made them happen. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, when you said blessed, I know I am. But I only get to meet great people. I promise you this. You're great. I started telling myself I was great while I was in prison. And the more tell me you great.
I'm great, man.
Did you hear yourself?
Yeah.
The more you tell yourself, the more you say I'm great, you feed your spirit. But you also tap into your subconscious mind. I do believe this is where the spirit lies at. And what happens, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I started speaking into myself. 3 things I spoke to myself. I'm leaving prison this year. The world is going to see my artwork, and I am a millionaire. I done seen 2 of the 3 things happen. Look, the world is going to see the 3rd. But what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to make sure I help my community. I only want to set this community on fire and watch us flourish. Because I understand the greatness that's in us. We special.
Yes.
You got to know your greatness. You got to know everything that God created is perfect. When I tell you, look, when we was talking about them caterpillars, even in this caterpillar stage, it's perfect. I was perfect when I was selling drugs. I may have been doing some things that was imperfect, but God created me as a perfect being, my spirit, not the flesh. The flesh ain't no good. But the thing about it, your spirit is. And as you grow and mature, at some point, God will treat you just like that caterpillar and tell you to go up that tree and change start happening. You metamorphose inside the cocoon that you build. And when people look, all they see is the butterfly. But the only thing I can tell people, this butterfly right here didn't grow or didn't change its own self. I've been molded the whole time, baby. God has literally been forming me the whole time to be who I'm supposed to be.
Yes, sir. Man, you speaking a lot of words into a lot of people's mindsets, and I'm hoping that when people run this one back, you know, we gonna have to clip a couple of these right here. Just put that just on. You can drop a little 7 seconds of just some good motivation in your life. You know, go ahead and put that on the TikTok. Put that on IG on Facebook. Let people feel that. You know, I feel you, man. Man, I want to Man, bro, you really you are an amazing person, man. Like the fact that you took your life lessons and instead of letting it stop you and just keep you down, that you decided, look, you know what? I'm gonna get back into this thing that I know how to draw. I'm gonna go ahead and move into that. I'm gonna speak life into people. I'm gonna speak life into myself. I'm gonna speak what my existence shall be. I'm gonna put it out into the universe. It can happen, you know, and it does. That's one thing that you're proving. It can actually happen. You just have to, you got to say it, do the work that goes behind it, and keep pushing, you know. And I love having examples like yourself on this platform, brother, for real. I want to get into somewhat of an accolade, right? The internet has proclaimed that your greatest work of art is Walk a Mile in Our Shoes. What do you believe to be your greatest and why?
I would say so as well. Walk a mile in our shoes ain't nothing but the role reversal. It's us looking. I'm about to do another series of it. Just let you know.
Nice.
I just put in for a grant. But Walk a Mile in Our Shoes, what it does is it shows. Have you ever thought about being a woman?
Have I ever thought about, honestly speaking, brother? No, I have not.
Okay.
I've thought about
the reason why I asked, when you do, and I've asked men and women this, and most women look at you like, no. And the reason why, you walk a mile in a person's shoes. If I do, I treat people better. I told you out of the book, What If? That's the Walk a Mile in Our Shoes series, is the artwork. But What If is just the book. But it gives you empathy for people. I'm about to take and do a series based off of inmates, but the people who gonna be locked up is judges, lawyers, and police. And the inmates are gonna be the ones who are the jailers or the judges or the police, because I want them to be able to see what they can't see. They don't know when they give this time out what people go through in there.
Right.
They're just giving out time. People do mature. People do come home and become their greatest selves. I ain't saying everybody. Some people still do what they do.
Right.
But there's a bunch of men who come home and do great. One of the things I'm doing now, because I did see a comment, somebody asked, where do we go from here? And earlier you asked me, what else am I doing? I'm taking, it's me and 3 other men. We're about to tell our stories from the past to our prison stint to where we are at now. And most of them are businessmen. You got one who was an elected official in DC, and then the other one, he does something. What does he do? He has a business. No, he does movies. He did 5 movies, and me, I'm a movie. I did a book. I'm an artist. I'm a motivational speaker, but I'm a visionary. And the idea is to show what men or people do when they come home. They don't just go back to prison. This ain't what everybody do. There are people who come back and inspire the world. Tupac said, I may not change the world, but I bet you I spark the mind that does. Look, we mind sparkers here, and we gonna change the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Speaking of changing the world, man, I want to get into the goal of the show, the reason why I do this, and that is philanthropy. Garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today, give a shout out to, and why is the cause that it faces so important to you?
I have this place that I work with. They're called Community Love, and we just did a coat drive, but the owner, he's given me a platform to sell my book in there. I do want to shout him out. His name Prince. This is my brother. I guess if it was an organization that I would like to shout out, I'm building one now, and it's called Iron Sharpens Iron. And it is the rap debate, but it's not just the rap debate, it's also just a debate as well. And what I did with debate, Imagine me and you in a debate, and I got pro, you got con. But the second round, I got con and you got pro. What happens? It gives us a 360 view of whatever we are debating about. Debate should never be about us arguing over anything. It should be us creating solutions. And what I believe we can do, we as a community, if we debate for solution building, we can decide what president we should vote on as a community, not as one. But what this does, they gonna come to our churches next year and everywhere else, and they're gonna ask the black people to vote. What we need to do is come together on one accord, figure out who to do it together with, and make sure we get the benefits of everything. If we move as one, we change the world because we all benefit.
Yes, sir.
But we move as a unit.
You know, I want to say thank you again so much for joining me this evening. You know, your words, to your energy, to your effort. We definitely want to make sure that we highlight community love and iron sharpens iron once you begin it. I have a tradition on my show where we like to close with words of wisdom for the next generation. So I wonder, what words of wisdom would you have for those who struggle with getting acclimated to being outside of prison?
Look at a tree. When you look at trees they go through 4 seasons. Winter, summer, spring, fall. Their limbs are most of the time shooting up in praise. So first I'm gonna tell you, if you don't believe in God, find a higher power. I do. One, always give praise and thanks to God. That's number one. But when you look at these trees, you never see a tree say, man, I'm tired. All they know is grow. So from my words of wisdom to any youth, to anybody coming out of prison, to anybody, grow. Live to your highest potential, because God then already placed everything in you from a seed form to your grown-up stage. All you're supposed to do is grow. Share your testimonies with people, because what this does, it takes people to a whole different light where they'll get to see that there's a lot more to life than me just wanting for me. We're here to spark and make change, but grow. In love.
Man, before we end this, go ahead, let the world know, how can they find you? How can they support you? You know, spotlight.
Walkers_gallery2 is my IG. You want to, excuse my language, you want to call me 571-300-3131. If you want to purchase the book, you can DM me on IG, and what I do, I'll forward you a copy. I send you a copy and signed it, and you got a digital book. I have physical digital books. I am the only person that can give you one of these. It's called a physical digital book. And what you see on there is a QR code with my entire book, and I can sign it for you. So if y'all hit me up, I have no problems with making sure that you get your book. And my shipping, look, hey, I make sure I ship you. Follow my IG page. Once again, Walkers_gallery2. And I appreciate y'all. Love, peace, and blessings.
100.
And thank you, man. Look, as I told you before, I appreciate you doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. And where you're going, look, as I told you earlier, eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard, nor has it entered into the hearts of man what God has for you.
I appreciate that, bro. For real. Thank you so much. For those of y'all who are looking for me, IG's at Ezel Moon _. And yeah. Y'all have thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys follow at He Said What Network. And I'll see you on the next episode. My brother, outro.